Well, hello, and welcome back, y'all. Today we're going to get into the laundry list for May 20th. One of the things that they've started to do, it looks like, is that they want to be a little bit more transparent in the issues that they're working on and make it easier to get that information via their Discord. It starts today, so they wanted to kind of share the background stuff. One of the things is when you see the issue is discovered and verify. So when they report an issue via EA forums, a super user will see if help can be provided through troubleshooting and alternative methods to try confirming if the game is working as intended or if this may be an issue related to mods. If not, they'll check whether the issue has already been reported to merge it with existing thread or start a new one. A ticket is then made for them to review. They may need to collect more information from players to reproduce the bugs on their devices, which is critical for the next steps and why they always encourage players as much as specific detail as possible when reporting an issue. Our sim teams also discovering and reporting issues internally that get documented alongside player reported issues due to the wide variety of freedom with The Sims 4, plus the randomness and variation in play styles and player options. It's impossible to truly test every possible scenario. This means that some issues may only appear in specific environments, and while we strive to address as many as we can prior to launch, we appreciate your understanding. When QA is able to reproduce these issues, they will file a ticket for an engineer to review and give it a severity rating, which can depend on how many votes it's received and how disruptive to the gameplay the issue is for the players. So your vote matters. So I kind of like that they're doing this because it's kind of giving you an insight as to what they're looking at, what they're doing with it, how they're doing it, and how the information that you give them is going to help them to either recreate the issue or fix the issue or kind of know which direction to go. So I think that's great. I think it's really good. I know they always say your information is important, but this, it kind of gives you a better understanding, a better kind of background information as to why it's so important. So the next one is the fix is investigated and created, which is working with engineers in the background, of course. So they just kind of go on to explain that, it can be a really simple fix, or it could be something that they have to completely restructure the code system. And the fact that there's infinite variations of devices, operating systems, unique combinations of the Sims 4 content that's installed. That's why they need to know if there's like CC and mods and all of that. How people play, the mods that you've downloaded. Sometimes it can be really, really difficult for them to identify the root cause, which makes sense because what could be an issue for one person may not be an issue for another one. And that's the other thing that they say is that sometimes that when they make a fix, they can accidentally introduce other issues that are going to need fixed down the road. So then they send it, when they come up with an idea, they send it back to the QA team, and then they test each fix before it's released to make sure that it's fixed across all the platforms that they've kind of tried to work with. And then they say, that the fix is deployed to players, which obviously means what it means, that once they've got it taken care of, it goes to the QA department and they've kind of checked everything, make sure that it's working the way it's supposed to, according to the issue that was presented. Then, they do the update or the patch. Then they get into the reported issues that they're currently investigating for their next update, which hopefully they'll be able to fix all of it. But you see the fishing spots and Solani errors. This one I've had myself. After finishing any quests, if the sim travels to another lot, the quests reappear. That one was insane. If you watched my Fur Baby Care Center series, that one, yeah, I was losing my mind. Why is this happening? But whatever. Anyway, unable to place the rock solid faux wall due to the big footprint. The back plate of the toilet does not hide in the wall. The leaves and branches have become more visible when hovering and rotating the All of You Forever tree plant. And textured glass swatches are missing from the Wave Goodbye Privacy screen object. So if you're experiencing any of these issues, let's say the quests one, like I was, this is a hyperlink, so you can just click on it and it'll take you to the forums where that's where people are putting in their information. And if you scroll down, you can see, other people's issues, what has been happening with their gameplay, if it's playable, if it's not playable, if they had CC, if they haven't, the system that they're using to play, things like that. You can add to it, I think. Most of the ones that I looked at, you can add to it. But at the very least, it'll give you a better idea of the issue that they are working on right now. So you'll be able to do that with any of these here. It says that there are other issues that don't have an EA forum thread that they're also working on. And they said that some of the topics can be complicated to replicate and require an extended investigation on our end. So even though we're actively reviewing, it's not a guarantee that they'll have an immediate fix, which makes sense because coding isn't all that easy. My son does coding a little bit. Well, he did code a lot of coding, and yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, you gotta fix one thing, but it changes another thing. So then you have to fix that one, which changes another one. So you just kind of keep going back and forth, and it's a pain in the butt. A couple of things that are like apparently some big issues. So the issues impacting save files. I know that that's a big one. I've seen other creators kind of struggling with this one. It says 8 issues have been discovered and some require more player info to reproduce. If you're experiencing this, please add contributions to the relevant thread so you can click on that link. If your saved game has been impacted, there's a troubleshooting guide. You can click on that link. The other one that I've heard a lot about is the weather occurring indoors. I've experienced it. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me too much unless it's like a super storm, but like raining or snowing inside. But the fix is actively being investigated, and the issue, if you'd like to add to it, you can click on this link. And they also ask that you follow on Sims DirectX and in the Discord community, where they'll provide more updates when possible. So I'm going to provide the link for this down below. It is an EA Games link. It's not, you know, anybody else. So this comes straight from EA. And if you want to click on any of the links to get a little bit more information as to what issue it is that they're talking about, if you have more information that you need to add to that issue, you can find it in those links. Or you can go down here. You can also go on DirectX, Sims Direct on X. I was like, it's Twitter. It's Twitter. Anyway, you can go on X or their Discord to get more information. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit, gives you an idea of what they're working on. I do hope that your gameplay is going well. And yeah, let me know if any of these issues are occurring for you and what's been going on for you. I know, like I said, the only one that I believe has affected me directly is the quests reappearing. That one is a pain in the butt, and it does really affect your gameplay sometimes because you have to keep going up to the top and clicking cancel. Are you sure? Yes. Cancel. Are you sure? Yes. Anyway, beside the point. I hope this was helpful for you. Until next time, y'all, have fun.